One of the most important videos in my course is understanding your financial position. The importance of understanding your financial position is not so much so you know what to do, but just to know where you are, so then you know where to go from there. So I want you to find out what your net worth is. And the best way to explain what net worth is by kind of explaining a bucket with a hole or holes in it, kind of like in the picture. The holes can be various sizes, various amounts, and I just want you to think of the drainage of water representing the drainage of cash on a monthly basis, because of the result of expenses. So really the holes are just a metaphor for expenses that you receive every month. And lucky for you and everyone else managing a budget, it is the most changeable aspect of the monthly budget. That means that you're able to cut down on expenses, find new ways of having cheaper things. There is almost never a point in time where you can no longer cut your expenses. Every expense can be cut to some degree. The only expense that really cannot be cut are taxes. So let me get a little bit of a closer look at the hole versus the faucet, or the ratio between your income versus your expenses. So, like I said, the faucet is the constant stream of income into the bank account, the bucket's the bank account, and the holes are the expenses. The water coming through into the bucket represents money that comes to the door in real life, but the money that stays within the bucket and stays up is the money that you hold on to, both acting together to represent a person's net worth. The faster the faucet, the smaller the hole, the better. In other words, the larger the income, the smaller the expenses, the better. The rule of 10% could be thought of as a golden rule of finance. And pretty much that just means save 10% of everything you earn. That means anything. Whether it's a family member that gives you some money, you find a $10 bill on the ground, put in $1 from that, always, everything. Some things that aren't your main income can even be saved 100%, but if you're not inclined to save 100%, at least save 10%. And then place these savings in an account and compound these, as we learned previously. Another thing that's very important about expenses is that you're going to want to keep them consistent, constantly. No matter how much money you make, you want to always maintain around the same ballpark of expenses. Take this picture here, for example. One of the most important things, this is a good example of someone maintaining expenses. Fortunately for them, their income drops regardless. But, as you can see, their expenses go only slightly up over the past few years. This is somewhat similar to someone's bank account or their savings. A lot of people will increase their expenses as their income does. And this is a bad idea, because if one day this income stops coming in or this faucet stops running, all they have is larger holes to deal with and a faster drainage of water or money. What should be done instead is maintaining the same size of the holes regardless of how fast the faucet's going. In that case, in this scenario, the water is constantly running, and if the water runs faster, the holes remain small, and therefore the bucket fills up even more than if the expenses were growing along with the income. And if the faucet were to one day stop, we can be confident that the water is going to drain at a much slower rate than if you were constantly growing the holes as well as the faucet speed.